late today, uh, which is fine, whatever. Um, Today's March 6th. I just finished up my work week. And we're going to go through the recap. Um, so, in terms of reading, on a very lovely note, I finished the first book of my year, which was The Sun Always Rises by Ernest Hemingway. And I was having, I very interestingly, like I finished it in like a cafe drinking, which is very on brand for what was actively happening in the book. Um, and it was nice because like my friend was late, and then I just had like 20-ish, 25 pages left, and I was like, all right, like I have some time to kill. I have a glass of wine. There's no one in this like calm little restaurant, so I just sat down and read, and it was very very nice to finish it. I'm proud of myself for that. But now I have to go pick another book, so that I don't have nothing to talk about on this segment next week. But that also gave me the opportunity to talk with my friend about the book and about my thoughts on it and a lot of the other sort of major thoughts that I've expressed in previous weeks. But one of the big things that came out of our conversation was so the book is set in 19 like 25 ish, and like one of the big things that I notice about it is that, well, one, that's 100 years ago, but men behave exactly the same. Like it's the exact same patterns of behavior that I noticed in the book, and I think there's something very strange in how familiar the actions felt, while the setting and the environment and the tech was very very different. Um, but it's strange because it's like, oh, like that's not good. And part of like why I think that feels so um, icky to me is because I think a lot of the way that men, or at least my understanding of how men behaved in like the early 20th century is largely in response to like muscular Christianity, which comes out of the Victorian era, which like Teddy Roosevelt is a great example of someone who strongly believed in that. Tim Tebow is someone, but these are like people who kind of embody what the that display of masculinity is about, and a lot of traditional masculinity is built off of beliefs that come through that. And my understanding of this comes from when I was in college. I got a gender studies minor, and I predominantly focused on masculinity and its origins and where it came from. And I largely got into that because, one, interested in that, and also like me as a man, how do I define myself? And it's helpful to look at the histories there. But also, I largely was looking at artists and male artists and why did they behave that way? So that kind of led me down that path. Um, so I think part of what felt strangely disheartening about the behavior of men being so similar is that, um, especially right now with such a strongly negative environment for men's behavior and masculinity, I am of the mind that I hope to see more examples of positive masculinity. So, like the two stars from Heated Rivalry are great examples of positive masculinity. They're truly being themselves. They're being kind and beautiful and honest in who they are and how they engage with the people around them, and that is like beautiful. Um, so that's really nice. But outside of that, like the scene of masculinity is predominantly dominated by this like manosphere bullshit, which I'm not really involved in, so I don't really know what it's actually like in there. Um, but it's just like it's weird. It's like very strange. Anywho, moving on. Eating. Um, what am I eating? This week was a. I basically got bought breakfast every single day, which I like breakfast a lot. So it's weird that I did that. Not weird. I just kind of like didn't really have it in me to do it, to cook. But I in my had plans to have my friend Tessa come over and I would cook for her. Instead, we just got soup and hung out at my apartment, and I just didn't cook. And I didn't cook any of the days really. So which was stupid financially because I have a tattoo scheduled this weekend. So it's like, all right. But I just I've been I don't know. I have no interest in cooking this week, but I've been enjoying my breakfast sandwiches a lot. So that's been nice. Considering, what am I considering? I mean, I on Friday last week I had a lovely discussion. Was it Friday? May have been Friday. Whatever. Um, but I had this someone on Hinge had recommended an article to me on perfectionism because I had a prompt that I left, which was my therapist, uh, like some insight from therapy, and it was like, and it's perfectionism masks insecurity, right? And then blah blah blah. I like read a whole article on it from this person, and but I ended up talking about that with some of my friends over dinner, and it was really nice to kind of like break that all down. And I think it's very clear to me that my perfectionism is very self-centered. Like my how I feel about myself is revolves around like I often think that like I am behind where Owen should be, right? Or which is like horrible because there's no other person there. It's just me. Um, but one of the very interesting sort of developments in that is that my friend Tessa last night described me as deliberate, which was a compliment that 2 weeks ago I could not swallow. And it's also a compliment that I haven't really gotten in my life, but it's something that I very much strive for lately and over the past couple years as I've been growing into the young man that I am with this frontal lobe. Like being deliberate feels deliberate in action and deliberate in word has felt to be a strong sense of uh, like like a guiding wind to push me forward. Like it's like, yes, that is the right way to go about this, right? And so it felt very good to be able to swallow that compliment. Um, yeah. Moving on, arting. This week, I did a lot of collage. Also took this great. Oh my god. I took this great photo. That's lovely. It's beautiful. Then there's. Oh my god. I don't like that it pauses this when I do this. Anywho, can I zoom in further? I can. Not really. I did this collage. That was beautiful. Took this photo. Gorgeous. I did this little drawing in the morning. It looks so much better in person. Uh, did another collage. It's been a collage week. Um, yeah, and took this photo too, which is really pretty. Yeah. So those are some of the things I've been arting. Um, and playing. I've been playing Baldur's Gate again. I just kind of finished up the Underdark, which I love the Underdark. Um, yeah, and I have a mod that adds more like mini bosses is kind of what it is. But what's nice about it is that I get more XP because I think in a couple of my playthroughs I've just felt like I just like for like I didn't get enough of the random inspirations or do all like the little things. So I ended up like just a little bit behind on XP where I should be, thus like not the right level. And I feel like the leveling system is really like it's actually kind of hard to like match someone who's a level above, especially in those earlier levels. But now like my entire team is like level 6, and I just did the Underdark, so now I'm doing the Crash, and then I'm gonna go to start chipping away Moonrise Towers, and then I can get Halcyon and Jaheira, and I don't know. I like doing positive playthroughs. I just so I kind of run into the same. I kind of run with the same crew. Like right now, I'm doing Karlach, Lae'zel, Shadowheart, and then I am a Tiefling Druid Yeah, and I'm kind of taking the like spell casting AOE role, and that's nice. I mean, like, yeah, and then I have uh, like I got Karlak and Lae'zel both going just fucking hard in the paint, and that's been great. But I do feel like with Shadowheart, my issue with her is like I love she's a great cleric, but I think my issue is I don't need to heal someone every single round, and so I kind of just I don't know, something about her build to me. I need to have a little bit more offense in it, which I think is why I like to play a druid. It's a little bit more in line with what I would like. Yeah, and that is this week. Um, I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. I'm hopefully gonna get a tattoo, and I don't know. We'll see what else I do with my life. Anywho.